Hello everybody, it's Peter here from AJS, also representing our sister company in New Zealand, G&A Warburtons. And once again, I have a delight in taking you into a jeweller's workshop somewhere in Australasia. And this week we're going to the central coast of New South Wales and to the sunny Laura McDonald. Laura.
Hello.
Great to see you there. And you are basking in the sun.
Yeah, we've opened the doors up today and the sun's coming in. It's lovely.
Magnificent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a sunny disposition, and I'm sure we've got some bright things to look at today. So the topic of our talk today is treasured tools. So we're going to be delving into some of the tools that you use that are particularly treasured by you.
Yeah.
You're looking forward to that?
Yeah, I hope it's interesting. Yeah, I've got my favourites, and I feel like I've tried so many different tools, and I just tend to stick with the ones I love.
Well, I suppose it's all a journey, isn't it? And you might start off with one particular style of tool and that does a job, but then you discover another one that does it even better, and you go,
Yeah,
hey, and that becomes your favourite tool.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, shall we get into it? So what's number one on the list there, Laura?
Well, I thought that I'll talk about my bricks because I feel like they're some of my main tools that, you know, there's the thing that I have every day on my bench. So, you know, it's my soldering blocks, and it's the ones that I recommend to all of my students. I know it's not very exciting, but they're just, I've tried so many different soldering blocks, and I love these too. I love that the heat moves through them so well, and that we're able to solder with ease in classes. So this is 2 blocks wrapped up from AJS, and when we get them, we cut them in half like that. So we just use one at a time. They're just such a good price as well. They're only, I think, around $15 or something, and you get 2 bricks out of it. And then we always sit them on one of the non-asbestos soldering boards, and they're just great. We love them. So they're like a boring tool, but something that you definitely need when you're soldering and making jewellery is some faithful soldering boards.
Because they work and they're at a economical price.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. Yeah, we love them. So that's some boring tools.
No worries.
And then I wanted to talk about flux.
Okay.
Because, you know, I've had so many students that have had issues with flux, and I actually did myself when I first started. I was using a particular type of flux, and I nearly gave up metalsmithing altogether because of it. I just found it so frustrating. And then this is what I found after that, and I was able to continue with metalsmithing. So it's the Auflux, and it's so easy to use. And then we put it in these little makeup bottles.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they're like little misting bottles, and that's how we use it, because we used to use little paint brushes, you know.
Yeah.
And then because I taught so many teenagers and children, say if they forgot the flux and then they had to go in and add some while the metal was hot, and then the brush would melt, and it was a big disaster. So, yeah, we use these, and they're just awesome. We love them. So, little makeup bottles.
Now, is this something you developed yourself, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You're letting your secret out to the world now. You've got any patents on that?
But they're just so handy. We just love them. And, yeah, they're our go-to little flux bottle.
No worries. Well, we've got a little audience there watching us at the moment, so welcome to you. If you'd like to introduce yourself by saying where you're from, that'd be lovely. Or if you've got any comments or questions about Laura's tools along the way, do you use a similar thing for your flux with your makeup bottles or not? So, okay. What do we got next then, Laura?
Okay. I want to talk about my favourite tool.
Oh, the
which
favourite.
is my handsaw from America.
Looks
And
very exotic.
I just think it's such a funky shape.
It is. Yeah.
And I'm actually getting a tattoo of it on my wrist.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry, Mum, if you're watching. But I just think it's so, it's just such a nice, it's very attractive.
Well, you could hang that on your wall as a
I
display
know,
item,
isn't it
couldn't
just so funky?
Yeah.
It's so cool.
But
And,
it works as well, obviously.
yeah, it works really well. You know, when I first started I love hand sawing. Like, I really, really love cutting out like little tiny butterflies and lots of intricate little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started hand sawing, I was using a handsaw with the blade around the wrong way.
Uh-oh.
For months, like for, well, probably a few years I was doing that.
Oh, no.
And then I found out, well, I got COVID, and I was, you know, I was so bored, and I thought, okay, I want to just get a little bit better at hand sawing. And so I signed up for an online hand sawing course. And then, and they
in the first lesson,
the way that you meant to put the blade on, and I was like, oh, okay. I've been doing it wrong.
So that was a good course to sign up to?
It really was. Yeah, they had some really good tips. Yeah, so I now, you know, teach my students
the correct way.
Yeah, that's right. Not the wrong way. But yeah, that's one of my favorite tools. And because I do a lot of hand sawing, I love a certain type of blade, which is super pike.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, they're my faithful blade. And then this little thing here, which I think it must be 3D printed or something. It looks like that, but so it's got all the sizes of blades. And then it's even got a little section there for wax blades.
Okay.
But this is just so handy, because before that I just had like blades mixed up everywhere.
So how many blades do you think you've got in that device?
Well, like in each section you could get hundreds in there. Mm-hmm. I reckon altogether maybe I've got a few hundred in here.
Wow.
And like it's not even halfway full. Yeah,
so
I've got my favorite sizes. So they're always, I try to keep those ones full. And then, yeah, but it's really good storage.
Yeah, for keeping you organised and you know where things are.
Yeah, that's right. And to even have a section for the wax blades, because we've been doing a lot of wax carving.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a little section for that. Yeah. So that's my hand sawing. Yep. Another thing I want to talk about, you know, so bezel setting is one of our favourite things to do in classes here.
Yeah.
I actually did a little collage the other night, and it was, I wanted to add up like how many bezel settings we'd done just in the last few months, and it was over 200 since February.
Jeez.
So I feel like I really got a knack for bezel setting. But
you're a regular factory there.
Yeah, that's right. But everyone's got their, you know, every jeweler has their favourite way to set bezels.
Yeah.
And mine's definitely just the simple bezel pusher. But, you know, something my students never realise, whenever they go to buy a bezel pusher, and you have to actually adjust the top of it, you can't just use it straight out of the packet.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, so that's something that I like to tell them all, that you have to fix it before you start using it, because so many will come in and they'll say, like, say if they've done metal smithing before or bezel setting and they'll say, oh, I don't like using that because that damaged my bezel. And I'll say, did you fix the top of it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, that's why you don't like it. But it's just such a funny little tip, you know, like, but yeah, that's my go-to bezel tool.
So what's the nature of the adjustment you have to do then when you
So
get
it comes like flat and really sharp on the top.
Okay.
So I will go over it with one of my other favorite tools, which are these little sanding discs. Not discs, rolls. So I'll actually go over the top and the sides.
Yeah.
And because it's really sharp, so it cuts into the bezel. And then I'll buff the top so it's nice and soft.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's interesting, you know, we work with a lot of students that have done a bit of metalsmithing, and that's one thing that I have not had a student come in that has done metalsmithing and has known about doing that. Yeah.
There you go. You're very valuable to them then.
I reckon a little note in the packet might be very handy.
It could be, yes.
You could pass that on.
I will.
Laura's little tip.
Consider it done, Laura. Yeah.
That would be very handy. But yeah, these rollers from for the flex shaft are just awesome. So they're something we use every day, every single day, in a few different grits.
Mm-hmm.
So we often start with the 240, and then we'll work our way down like lower grits. But I especially like AJS ones because they're bigger. So that's something I've figured out over time. You guys sell the bigger ones.
There you go.
They've got more sandpaper on there.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, we love them. We use them for everything. So they're one of my favorites as well.
Right.
I've got my favorite polish. So it's my favorite high polish. I've got a few different polishes. I've used so many in my time. And then I actually rang up the Sydney AJS shop. Must have been maybe about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to one of the ladies there, I said, look, I want something that just polishes up our jewellery and makes it so shiny. And then I said, you don't have to tell me what it is. Just add it to the order.
And that's what you got?
I'll be thankful forever because I love it. It's blue Hubble. And far out. The shine from this is incredible. I love it. But yeah, before that, you know, it was good what I was using, but this just really stepped it up to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's a great recommendation.
And then I really love, I said this in my last video that we did a few years ago. I think it was a few years ago now, but my favorite like polishing buff for the flex shaft is I don't have any new ones here, but they're suede, and they come like, they're sort of in different sort of bright colors, like gray and orange.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just, I love them. They're so well lasting, especially like, you know, we're using our tools. We're hard on our tools because we use them every single day. Multiple students in here using them, and beginners as well, you know, They might be a bit harder on the tools. So everything that I talk about is hardy, and yeah, it works for us all.
You don't want it breaking straight away, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
We have had that happen. It's upsetting on, like, for everyone.
Mm.
They don't want to walk out feeling like they you know, can't achieve their goals, like that it's too hard.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful what you're doing with young people there, Laura. So
yeah,
keep up the great work.
Thank you. So this little doodacky
What do we got here?
This. So when you work with thicker wire, say, you know, like this is some stamping wire, the rectangular wire, and it's in it's only 1 millimeter thick. So, but say if there's a thicker one, the other stamped ring. Yeah. So if I'm measuring a length of that for a ring, I don't have to worry about the inside diameter not fitting. Yeah, thanks. Fitting a student. But if we're using some thicker stuff, which like I would say like 2 millimeters or anything like thicker like that, if we cut it at the size we would cut, you know, our thinner wire, that wouldn't fit. So the inside diameter, because it's so thick, the inside gets thinner. So that's really hard to figure out if you're not really good at maths, because you can't just add on an extra 2 millimeters onto the wire. It doesn't work like that. I've tried. I've since written up like a document with every single size and every size of wire and everything like that. But, you know, this little tool figures it all out for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So random, hey?
Yeah.
And, like, so you put the wire up in the top part. So you'd like put your wire in the top area and you'd tighten it up. And then you measure from like the distance to here, and it's got a little section that you can put your blade through and cut the piece of metal.
Okay.
And then you know it's going to fit. So this is something that's saved my butt lots of times, because we used to just guess.
So you put in a ring size or something?
Yeah, so say if like, you know, you knew that you were like a size 7, like if like numbers, letters, whatever. It's got numbers because it is American.
Yeah.
Yeah, so say, and it just adjusts, it works out the thickness of the metal with this thing. So, because you're sizing, you're putting the metal in this end.
Yeah.
And then you're closing it, and then it down here, it works out how much extra you need for your ring. And then, like, it's got sizes all along here. So it just works it out for you.
Yeah. Well, someone very clever has invented that, haven't they?
I reckon, hey, yeah. Because that's really hard to work out. And I remember, like, I used to just search the internet for any easy way to figure out how to, you know, an easy way to get the correct size for thicker silver. And I couldn't find anything. And then I came across, well, it was a student actually, and she said, oh, I watched this video the other day of this young girl talking about stamped metal, and then she showed me the video and she showed this thing. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And
has it got a name, Laura?
Oh, mate, it was so hard to find.
Yeah.
It was like, I should have got the name for it.
There's no name on it.
No, there's no brand, no name, nothing.
Well, they might have been clever in inventing the tool, but not very clever in getting repeat orders.
That's right, yeah. I'll write in the comments what it's actually called, if anyone is curious to buy it. Yeah, no, that's not it. Sorry, my staff member was trying to show me what it might have been called. It's really hard to find. So I'll add it in the comments after the video.
Yeah, sure.
I don't, whether anyone wants it, I don't know, but that's something that helps us a lot, because there'd be times where, you know, I'd have a student in and we'd make a ring and we'd try and guess, and then we'd get to the end and they'd just have to put it on their key ring or their necklace. No. Yeah, because it wouldn't fit them. And that was really frustrating and upsetting for all of us. So, yeah. It deals with that, which is great. But yeah.
So you've shown us some nice little treasures there, Laura. Have you got any other little treats for us?
Just really my pliers, which are a bit boring, aren't they?
Oh, no,
But
everyone likes their pliers, I think. What are your favourites?
well, I know that when you start, so my goal is with my students, if you want to leave and start metalsmithing, I want it to be, you know, as affordable and easy as possible. And one thing I found really confusing was how many different tools there are to size, like to get a circle shape when you're making your ring. So this is our little go-to tool for rings. So it's just like a pair of large looping pliers, and it's one of our go-to tools, and it's really affordable for students to use when they're shaping their metal into a ring shape. So this is one of our most used pairs of pliers. Yeah, so that's just one of our, and then Old Faithful, some little flat nose pliers, and we just love the students know which pairs of pliers are their favourites, and they're our favourites as well. So if you ever want this little red pair of pliers, someone will always have them on the table, and you have to go and everyone's fighting for them. It's so funny. It's just this one pair of pliers, and everyone wants them. We've got so many pliers and so many like flat nose ones, but this is the favourite. I don't know what it is about it, the shape or what it is, but we all love them.
Okay.
So they're used in every class.
Right.
Yeah.
The little red ones.
Oh, my staff member just found the rings, the wire gauge thing.
Yeah.
It's called a ring gauge. There was something else, like a metal ring gauge. But I will add the full name in the comment section.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Laura. So, well, thanks for that little journey through your workshop and
That's
some of your
right.
treasure tools. I'm sure some people will have picked up some tips for themselves there.
Yeah, I hope
future.
so. Yeah. They're just a few that we've used over the last, 3.5 years that we all really treasure. And yeah, they're quite simple tools, but that's what I'm all about, making it nice and easy for students.
Yeah, but I mean, a few of those have changed your life, like the Sawblades that you started to use on the right side, and then the polish that you got. The recommendation from AJS. So
yeah, it's been a journey, that's for sure.
Well, lovely, Laura. Well, thank you so much for sharing today, and we'll look forward to seeing you and our viewers sometime real soon.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.